set the accumulator on your new disc spine. So you gotta do it. It's in this compartment here, easy to get to. Right here. What we want to do is we want to be down for your crop that you're doing today. We want to be down about 800. So what we got to do to set this is we got to set this down. So we'll have to open these two valves, one on either side, and drop the disc spine down to the ground. Once we get that, we just adjust this dial here to get our proper setting. We'll have to run on a float mode. When you need oil for it, these are open. Now, what happens is the oil from here, the accumulator, will go back into the legs. That'll bring your pressure down. If you need oil to your accumulator, you close these while he's down, have him lift up a little bit, and just crank that up, and it'll supply the oil to your accumulator. So if you want to fire up the tractor, basically right here we're just opening the valves so that we have oil. And now Bob's going to set this spine down on the ground. See where your pressure is at here? We're a little bit too high for what we want to do. So we want to bleed that pressure back. We've got it open already. Go to float. When he goes to float, you see the pressure is dropping here. So that's right about where we want it, right there. Simple and easy. So that's 700-800 pounds. I'm just going to tweak it a hair. Okay. So now we've got it where we want it. We've bled the pressure out. I want to bleed a little bit of pressure back in. Close these two valves. We just have Bob come up on it a little bit. What it'll do, it'll just come up, but it'll actually... See how it throws the pressure back into the gauge here? Right? So that's how you add pressure if you want to tighten up your rollers, your crimpers. Same thing now, if you take those out, make sure he sits down. Okay, same thing if you open them up again. I have him just tweak it a little bit and we're there. Now it's set. Simple, it's easy. One of the nice things about our machine, right, if you're going into alfalfa crop or if you're going to go into Timothy, you won't want as much crimp on the alfalfa as you would on the Timothy. Okay, on this one here, the ram's set up, there's 4 holes in the back here. Right now we're set on 0 pitch, so it'll sit pretty much flat. And we'll start cutting. If he doesn't like the way it's looking when we cut, just pull that lift back up on it, pull that pin, put it in number 2. That's about a 2 degree. Number 3, 6, number 4 is an 8. So right now we're going to start in 0 degree and just see how it cuts. Other than that, he's ready to go now. Pretty simple and easy to set it. One of the easiest ones in the market.
Very narrow, like low profile, so there's not a lot of resistance going through the field. So we can cut very low and very flat without too much tilt, which helps to accelerate everything through. Okay, that's a big thing. The power we get going through here is awesome because we have such huge teeth on the gears. The gears are manufactured right in our Sisu motor plant in Finland. And they're a square cut, so this probably sounds louder than what you had before.
Yeah, it is.
And we just say that's the teeth talking, and that's a good thing. That gives us a lot of contact.
Is there less resistance with the steel rollers?
Well, the steel, they're not contacting. Like rubber rolls are virtually contacting, where these aren't. They're going like this, right?
We're 3 teeth always touching?
Yeah, pretty close to that.
July 4th. Monday. Bob Biegel just started his haying today. We've actually started in one other field. We moved over to this one because it's a little bit heavier hay crop. He's running the Fendt 718 Vario with our brand new Hesston Massey 1386 disc spine. It's a 16-foot disc spine. First time he's run it. We've tweaked it and set it, greased it all up. Everything seems to be running good. We're sitting at a 2 degree pitch in the front end, which means the front end is just slightly tilted down to create for better cutting on a better angle. And Bob is actually cutting at about 11.5 mile an hour, possibly 12. And you can see there's no problem with the crop coming through. You can see how it throws it out the back here. It's not actually twisting it or anything, it's just laying it into a nice swath. As we showed earlier, the breakage, we've got steel on steel rollers in the back, our crimpers. So it actually is set at a perfect 3 to 4 inch break, and which allows for quicker drying time. So this will probably sit for a couple of days and it should be dry enough to come out and rake it over. There's a couple spots where it's a little wet. It'll probably be about 3 to 4 days for that to dry. But if you look on the side, how it leaves a nice clean line where he's cutting against the crop. You know, there's no damage, it's not tearing the crop out on the far side on the right. So basically you're gonna end up with a 16 foot. That swath is probably about 6 to 7 inches deep. And again, he's now sped up to about 15 mile an hour and no problems with any of the cutting ability on that machine.
Got a mixed crop here with alfalfa and timothy. The timothy is just getting scratched on the way through. It's going to dry down fairly quick. And then on the alfalfa, when we take a look at it, we can see how our herringbone design crimper is giving us about every 3 to 4 inches, and you can actually fold it up, make a little square. The leaves are all intact, nothing's broken off it, there's no bruising on it. This is perfect conditioning. This is Hesston hay. That's what we're looking for.
You think anything to do with hay, the first thing is Hesston. Hesston has the best haying equipment. Hesston has built haying equipment for so many years. You notice how loud this disc line is? It's because of the teeth, right? The teeth are just square edges, they're not a rounded edge. So what happens when those teeth come through where no other disc line will do that, then we've got 3 teeth all the time. They're always touching like that, right? Where the other ones, they get that round edge and they kind of slide in like that. You've only get 2 that'll touch. Where ours, they actually have all 3 will come in like that. That drives all the turtles. Okay. Like all the turtles that cut with the little blades on them. Strongest you're gonna get with the square edge like that. Well, that whole bath takes about 5 gallons of oil in that whole front bath to run that. But it doesn't take a whole lot of oil to run it. And do not ever use synthetic oil in that bath because you'll seize it up.
Graham Powell on behalf of Agriterra and Sexsmith. We're here with Bob Biegel and his 4608 tractor and the Massey Ferguson Rotoflex 3879 rotary rake. Both excellent pieces of equipment, and we're going to see some hay raking action here today.
My name is Bob Biegel. I live in Grovedale, south of Grand Prairie, and we deal with Agriterra out of Sexsmith. We're doing our summer hay cut, and we have the 1386 Razor, 16 foot with the Fendt 200 horse tractor. We are getting around 8 gallons an hour for economy and traveling anywhere from 10 to 12 miles an hour, so 16 to 18K. We do about 15 acres an hour. I'm very pleased with the equipment and the service. We're here at the Biegel farm today where we are raking hay with the RK 3879 roto rake and the 4608 Massey tractor, 80 horsepower. The hay is couple hours from being dry. I find it very gentle on the hay. The leaves are staying on the alfalfa. That just shows the gentleness of the rake. So we're going to continue raking and we'll show you some performance.
Charles and I am 11 years old and I am enjoying raking with my dad, and it's just wonderful to be out in the field raking.
Shoes if it does get soft. Whoa. You did what?
I did that just for you.
Oh, it was horrible. I was just driving along and my truck just stopped. You're not filming, are you?
Yeah, you told Bob, says, oh, it looks like it's sunk in here. I said, I think those are tire tracks from the truck.
Oh, it's sunken good. You got four-wheel drive? But Hesston is synonymous. What's that word? Is that it? Always pull the operator's manual out. I know your dad don't. Hope you're not videotaping that. I keep asking, what? Read the owner's manual? What owner's manual?
So you look like you've been fireman a while.
In the hollers of Kentucky.
Oh, and here's my cinnamon bun. It's good. Homemade sourdough.